Welcome to the CAB Builder video tutorial series. This video will cover creating materials and material assignment for global options, which will allow CAB Builder to determine which wood products to use for your cabinet parts. Before starting, make sure your units are set up correctly. Go to the main menu, select Application Settings, head to Units, and look to the Materials section. If you are using a CNC with CAB Builder, set the units to inches and the precision level to 0.0001. If you will not have CAB Builder generate CNC codes, you should leave this precision level at 1/64 of an inch. The first step is making certain you have the materials defined in the program. To do this, head down to the Materials and Warehouse module, specifically the Materials tab. The left side shows the material groups, which are fully customizable to organize your various materials. Clicking a group lists its constituent materials in the middle of the screen. Select a material to display its properties on the right side of the screen. We will create our groups and materials from scratch in this video, although you may copy or adapt existing materials to your advantage. Go to the left column and click Create to name and initialize an empty group. The group will be created as an empty one. Create a new hardwood material by clicking Create at the top of the menu. Select the board material type on the left and wood board subtype on the right. Name the material at the top left and click Create at the bottom of this menu. We will now define its attributes. Select the sample wood and look to the Properties column. The first section defines how it will appear in the 3D renderings. Starting by selecting its texture, we will choose a finish from the Alder Dark collection. Then there is the Unfinished Board parameter. If this is checked on, the Finish Global option will override the material's texture. If checked off, it will not. This checkbox should be left on for most materials. The name of the material is how it will appear in your report, so include details needed to identify it in your printouts. The Common section sets the price per unit. This is a hardwood, so we will use board foot for said unit. We will set cost per board foot to $4 and enable a tax rate of 5% for the sales tax. Then the Dimension section follows. We will not nest the hardwood on CNC, so the width and length can be left at the default. The thickness versus nominal thickness, however, play a large role. The thickness parameter is the actual measurement used in calculating cut lists and generating CNC codes. If you are going to make CNC codes, then this thickness should be set to the actual caliper reading to be as accurate as possible. If you are not using a CNC license, then the thickness could simply be left as the nominal thickness for the purpose of calculating the cut lists. The nominal thickness is just the measurement that part is labeled as. For instance, 3/4 inch plywood has a nominal thickness of 3/4 inch, but usually comes in actual thickness of around 0.7 inches. So its CNC license thickness should be 0.7 inches and left to 0.75 inches for other license types. Nominal thickness should be 3/4 of an inch for all licenses. Each material has specific material type settings. Board materials have only one parameter, waste percent. This is an estimate of how much of the material ends up being thrown away as a natural result of cutting cabinet parts out. This is different cabinet shop to cabinet shop, but hardwoods generally incur a waste of 20 to 30%. The Group section can be used to switch the material to another group, so we will leave this as it is. The description and tags sections can contain information associated with each material. We will leave these blank for this demonstration. And we have just defined our first hardwood material. Let's do the same for panel stock by following the same process, but for panel type material. Click Create. Choose Panel Material. Choose Plywood subtype and name the material. Set the finish. Assign a cost. Set the dimensions to 4 foot by 8 foot with a thickness measured from caliper for CNC license, and indicate if it is grained material, if it's finished on both faces, and set waste %. If we also use the same material but with different thicknesses, we can simply copy the existing entry. The only things we must change is the name, cost per sheet, and thickness. We will do the same for 3/4 inch melamine and 1/4 inch melamine. With our materials defined, we can now allocate them to the cabinet parts within the Material Assignment menu. Navigate back to the main toolbar and select the Material Assignment module. The global options responsible for wood selection are Cabinet, Drawer Box, and Door Material Assignment. We will start with the Door Material Assignment. The left column has the options available. Selecting a door assignment shows its configuration in the middle column with the parts listed on the left and the assignment shown on the right. The rightmost column shows the materials that can be used for the selected part. Create a new material assignment by clicking on the Create button. Name this new option and look to its arrangement in the middle of the screen. Assigning material to a group of parts will determine the constituent sub-elements as well. For instance, if we make 5-piece door frames out of sample 3/4 inch hardwood, then we will select the 5-piece door frame group and double-click on the material in the right column to assign. And now CAB Builder will know what to use for those parts. We will follow suit for the other parts. For instance, if there is a shaker 5-piece door in a design, CAB Builder will match the center panel to whatever has been assigned to the flat panel slot. The same goes for raised and fluted center panels. Flat doors correspond to the slab door assignment, whereas 1-piece and 2-piece MDF doors apply to CNC'd door constructions. Door edge banding assignment determines which banding to use on doors and drawer fronts as indicated by the door construction methods. You should create a door assignment for each material set. For example, if you sometimes make doors out of MDF and sometimes out of melamine, make an assignment for each. This will allow you to pick the appropriate preset in every design. Repeat this process for the drawer box material assignment. The same logical method applies here. For instance, I can assign sample 3/4 inch hardwood to the main drawer box assignment. Then, select the drawer bottom to assign 1/4 inch Baltic birch to it, followed by birch veneer banding for the final entry. A drawer box material assignment should be created for every material set you use. The same applies to the cabinet material assignment. It is here that you assign the materials to the rest of the cabinet parts, defining case parts, tops, bottoms, face frame, interior, toe kick, and end panel materials, as well as the exterior and interior bandings to be used. For instance, we will create a new cabinet material assignment and assign sample 3/4 inch Baltic birch to the main cabinet element to get most assignments out of the way. Then, we will override the back unfinished to be sample 1/4 inch Baltic birch and the frame to sample 3/4 inch hardwood. Just as before, make a cabinet material assignment for the different wood species sets that you use for your kitchens. For example, if you make some kitchens out of cherry plywood, other times of melamine, and others yet out of birch plywood, then each should have a material assignment preset. When you have your materials and material assignments created or assigned, in the design module, setting up these 3 design options will enable CABBuilder to determine which materials you make your parts from, giving you an accurate cut list. There are 2 more design options that do the same thing, but for hinges and drawer guides. We will address these in future videos. To view additional video tutorials, please visit www.cabbuildersoftware.com/training.